Hi, welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible. In this session, we would be looking at geometry, the basics of triangle, the questions which have appeared in past CAT and XAT papers. I would suggest pause this video, have a look at the questions. The PDF link is available in the description of this video. Once you have tried these questions on your own, then proceed with the rest of this session. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market. Geometry is a topic which scares a lot of people. However, if you understand the very basics of geometry, you can solve quite a few questions which come up in CAT and XAT examination, or at least give it a shot. You don't need to remember a lot of formulas. Unfortunately, in geometry, there is some amount of knowledge which is required. So you need to be a little conversant with the basics of your lines, angles, triangles, etc. So in this series, we would look at what are the most important things which you should look at when it comes to these areas. So let's start with triangles. We'll look at simple techniques which you can use to solve these questions. Triangle is the simplest of all closed figures. You have three corners or vertices, right? And you have three sides. Usually the sides which are opposite, the length of the sides which are opposite the angles are denoted by lowercase letters. For example, the length of the side opposite angle A or vertex A would be denoted with small a. Length of the side which is opposite B, which is AC, is denoted with small b. And length of the side which is opposite the vertex C or the corner C or the angle C is denoted with small c. Right? Sum of the internal angles add up to 180 degrees. External angle equals the sum of all some of the other internal angles. For example, the angle B external here will be equal to angle A plus angle C. You can prove it very easily. Angle A plus internal angle B plus angle C will be 180. Similarly, internal angle B plus internal angle C will be equal to 180. Equate these two, you will get A and C equals B. Right? A very important property in a triangle, sum of any two sides has to be greater than the third side. I would suggest go and look at your 7th, 8th standard geometry. You can also look at Wikipedia, Khan Academy, all these cases. The proof of this is pretty important. Otherwise, you'll not be able to form a triangle. Right? Very important concept, used very widely throughout triangles all across. Right? Then you have the basic area formulas. Area is half of base into height. What is height? Height is a perpendicular which is dropped from a side, from a corner to a side. So you'll have three perpendiculars which can be dropped, right? Right. So you can have any base multiplied by height, half of that will be the area. The other formula is called the Hero's formula or the Heron's formula. N is optional, right? So this says area. If you know the three sides of a triangle, then you can find the area of a triangle. Now, using this formula, S is the semi-perimeter, A plus B plus C divided by 2. Now, obviously, we would like to classify triangles. On the basis of the largest angle, we can classify the triangle as acute angle triangle, right angle triangle, or obtuse angle triangle. Right? So, if the largest angle is less than 90 degrees, which means all three angles will be less than 90 degrees, it's an acute angle triangle. If the largest angle equals 90 degrees, it's a right angle triangle. If the largest angle is greater than 90 degrees, then it will be an obtuse angle triangle. Second most popular classification is on the basis of sides. If all three sides are equal, equilateral triangle. If two of the sides are equal, it's called an isosceles triangle. So equilateral triangle is a special case of the isosceles triangle where all three sides are equal. Right? And a scalene triangle where none of the three sides are equal. So anything which can be used for scalene can also be used for isosceles, can also be used for equilateral, but not the other way around. Not the other way around. Now, how do you combine these two parts? You can unify both the sides and the angles. There are two relations which are used to unify the sides and angles of a triangle, right? The first one is that sides opposite equal angles are equal, which means if we can prove that angle B is equal to angle C, then the side opposite angle C, which is AB, will be equal to the side opposite angle B, which is AC. So these two sides will also be equal. The converse is also true. If two sides are equal, then the angles opposite them will also be equal. Now, if you go back to the classification on the basis of sides, you can prove using these relations that all the three, since all the three sides of an equilateral triangle are equal, all the three angles will also be equal. Sum of the three angles add up to 180. So each angle in an equilateral triangle is 60 degrees. Right? Pretty useful to do this. A corollary to this relation is sides opposite larger angles are longer. So in the say, if a triangle is there where you can prove that angle Q is bigger than angle R, then the side opposite angle Q, which is PR, will be definitely greater than the side opposite angle R, which is PQ. Right? The converse is also true. If you can prove PR is bigger than PQ, then the angle opposite them will also be larger. Right? This is the first one which unifies sides and angles. The second relation which unifies the angles and sides of a triangle, I'm not sure you will have ever heard of it. It's very rarely used. Not a lot of people know about it. It's called the Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Basically, it says in a right angle triangle, right, if the hypotenuse is the longest side, the square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Now, you can extend this Pythagoras theorem to acute angle and obtuse angle triangle. In an acute angle triangle, the square of the longest side will be lesser than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Whereas in an obtuse angle triangle, the square of the longest side will be bigger than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. You can get the proof of this. You can use the cosine relationship, triangle relation, or the triangulation relationship to solve, to prove this. Again, the proof is very nice. You can search on Khan Academy, Wikipedia, etc. to get the basic proof of why this is the case. Now, using this, let's try to go about solving the 5 questions we have in this session. The first question is from ZAT 2009. This has appeared in multiple shapes and form in CAT as well as IFT papers, but I'm taking this because it's a slightly lengthier question than the other two. I know there is a formula which exists to do this quickly, but in case you want to learn only the basics and think that you don't want to learn a lot of formulas, this question can also be solved using things which we have already learned. Okay. So let's do this. How many differently shaped triangles exist in which no two sides are of the same length? No two sides of the same length, which means it's a scalene triangle, right? Each side is integer and perimeter is less than 14. So perimeter is less than 14, right? And C is more than B is more than A. Assuming C is the longest side, B will be the middling side, A will be the shortest side. Right, it's a scalene triangle, so this inequality has to be satisfied. Now, because in a triangle, sum of any two sides has to be bigger than the third side, right? C has to be less than A plus B, and we know A plus B plus C is less than 14, which means C has to be less than half of 14 or 7. So the highest value that the longest side can take is 6. So if we take A, B, C, highest value will be 6. Right. So the highest value has to be lesser than 6 or lesser. Now we'll just check the perimeter just to make sure that's the case. Okay. So if I put 5, this will be 2 possible. 652 is a perimeter is 7 plus 6, 13. Now 653, while it's a triangle, 653 is a possible triangle, right? But 653 will make the perimeter 14. So not possible. Same will be the problem with 654. What happens with 651? 651 will not be a triangle because 1 plus 5 equals 6. This will not be a triangle at all. So with 6 and 5, this will be a possibility. Let's put 6 and 4. Now, if I put 6, 4, 1, 1 plus 4 is less than 6, out. If I put 2, 2 plus 4 is equal to 6, not possible. So 3 will be the only value possible. 6, 4, 3 will be 7 plus 6, 13. So that is okay. Right. Now I cannot put 6, 3, 2. This is not a triangle. 6, 3, 3 is not a triangle. And anyways, these two sides are equal. So 6, 4, 3 is the only triangle with 6 and 4. And the third side will be 3. Okay. Let's reduce the longest side. If I put the longest side as 5. Okay. Put this as 4. 5, 4, 3 is possible. So that will be 12. 5, 4, 2 is possible. Yes. 5, 4, 2 is possible. Right. This is 6 plus 5, 11. That is possible. 5, 4, 1 will not be possible. So out. Right. If I put 5 and 3. 5, 3, 3 is, while it's a triangle, it is not a scalene triangle because it's an isosceles triangle. Two sides are equal. 5, 3, 2 is not a triangle. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And 5, 3, 1 is also not a triangle. Right. So this is also out. With 5, 2 and 1, that will not form a triangle. So with 5, these are the only two possibilities. Right. What happens if I put the longest side as 4? 4, 3, 2. Perimeter is 9. Possible. Right. 4, 2. 2 is not a triangle, and anyways these two are equal. If I put the longest side as 3, 3, 2, 2 is a triangle, but these two sides are equal. So out. 3, 2, 1 is no longer a triangle. Right. So this is out. And if I put the longest side as 2, I only can get 1 and 1, which will not be a scalene triangle. So, and it's not a triangle also. Right. So these are the only triangles possible. How many such triangles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Option B will be your correct choice. You might think that it takes a longer time. I had to slow down to explain in an exam situation. Even if you don't know the formula, 2.5 minutes will be the max you will need to solve this. The next question is from CAT 2000. Right. It says in the figure above, it should have been above, but yeah. In the figure, AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DE is equal to EF is equal to FG is equal to GA. Then DAE is approximately how much? Now, this is a pretty odd question, right? I mean, you are not given any other angle and you're required to find out the value of an angle, right, just by looking at the sides, right? So the only thing which you can probably use is the sum of the angles of a triangle will be equal to 180 degrees. Sum of all the internal angles add up to 180 degrees, and somehow use this to get the angle, right? At least we know that we can find the answer because we have, none of them cannot be determined. Okay, so we need to find this angle. Now it is given to you that AB is equal to this length BC. So which means this angle will be X, right? Which means this angle will be 2X. Right. Now BC is equal to CD, which means this angle equals 2X. So this angle should be 180 minus 4X. Right. 180 minus 4X. Okay. Now this full line, if this angle is Y, if I take this angle as Y, right, I know X plus 180 minus 4X plus Y equals 180 degrees, right? Which means Y should be equal to 3X. If Y is 3X, then CD is equal to DE. CD is equal to DE, which means this angle will also be equal to 3X. Now, by symmetry, if I go from the other side, right, AG equals FG. So if this angle is X, this angle will also be equal to X, which will make this angle 2X, which will make this part 2X, right, which will again make this angle 180 minus 4X. So this angle will become 3X, which means this full angle will become 3X. Right. Now what do I know? I know in the large triangle AED all the three internal angles in forms of X. It will be X, 3X and 3X, which means X plus 3x plus 3x equals 180, or x should be equal to 180 by 7. How much is 180 by 7? That's 20, 40, 25 point something. Option D will be your correct choice. Beautiful question from CAT 2000. The third question is from CAT 2006. Right, I'm pretty sure you would have seen this in some of your textbooks as well as an explanation. Very nicely made question. Let's see what this is. An equilateral triangle BPC is drawn inside a square ABCD. So you have A, B, C, and D, and P is inside the square. What is the value of the angle APD? We need to find the value of this angle. Now, equilateral triangle, all three angles are 60. We discussed this. And we know in a square, all four sides are equal, all four angles are also equal. So all of the angles are 90 degrees for a square, right? So if the side of the square is A, side of the equilateral triangle will also be A. Now we need to find the angle APD. How do we go about it? Now this full angle is 90 degrees, which means this angle is 30. Okay, so far so good. What else can we figure out? Right. If you observe in a triangle APB, if you look at the triangle APB, right, the sides AB and PB are equal in length. Sides AB and PB are equal in length, which means the angles opposite them should also be equal. Right. So if I take this angle as X, this also angle as will also be equal to X. Right. So if I add up the angles of this triangle, you will get 2x plus 30 equals 180. So x should be equal to 75. Right. By symmetry, on the other side also this will be 75. Right. Now this angle is 90 degrees, which means this angle will be 15 degrees. By the same symmetry, this angle will be 15 degrees. Right. Now we know the two angles of the triangle APD. If you take this angle as P, in triangle APD, P plus 15 equals 180. Right? Which means P should be equal to 150. Job done. Because equilateral triangle inside a square, both of them are symmetrical figures, we can exploit the symmetry, and we had to use sides opposite equal angles, angles opposite equal sides are equal. That property. Beautiful use of this concept. The fourth question is from CAT 2001. Again, a very interesting question. It says, Euclid has a triangle in mind. The longest side is 20. One of the sides is 10. Area is 80. What is the exact length of the third side? Okay, you need the exact length. Okay, so you have one side as 20, one side as 10. I need to find the length of the third side. We know 20 is the longest side, right? So one way to go is use the Hero's formula, and that's the basic urge. You know the area of the triangle, you know the two sides, you can find the third side. But think about how difficult or how painful the the Hero's formula is going to be, right? So for example, if you'll take the semi-perimeter will be 20 plus 10, 30 plus k divided by 2. And then you apply it into the Hero's formula, square root of s into s minus 10 into s minus 20 s minus k, and then try to resolve this. You cannot even use the options. It's going to be pretty painful. Right. So the hero is actually not hero here. The hero is actually your Pythagoras theorem here. Okay. Now, what do we know about the area of a triangle? Area of a triangle, one thing was Hero's formula. The most common one is half base into height. So let's drop a height here. If I drop the height h here, right, we know half of h into 20 equals 80, which means h should be equal to, this will be 10, so 8. This is a right angle triangle because it's an altitude. So 8, 10, this should be 6, Pythagoras triplet. Right, now if you look at it, k, the third side k is basically the hypotenuse. Right, one side is h, which is equal to 8, right? The other side is 20 minus 6, which will be equal to 14. So you can find the third side. What will be the third side? Square root of 14 square plus 8 square. Square root of 196 plus 64. Square root 260. Option A. Right. So just because you know Hero's formula doesn't mean that you have to use all the time, right? Pythagoras is equally a hero. And the last question is the reason why you study the extension of the Pythagoras theorem in your text. This came up in CAT 2008. This is considered to be a pretty tough CAT. Let's see what this says. Consider an obtuse angle triangle with sides 8, 15 and x. X is also an integer. Right, it's 8 and 15 are integer, x is also an integer. How many such values of the triangle exist? How many such triangles exist? Okay, now it's an obtuse angle triangle. So we know the square of the longest side has to be bigger than the square of the other two sides. But it's also a triangle. So sum of any two sides has to be bigger than the third side. Right, so these are the two relations which you need to use to be able to solve this. Now, which is the longest side? You can have x as the longest side, or you can have 15 as the longest side. Now let's see what happens if 15 is the longest side. If 15 is the longest side, then 15 square has to be more than x square plus 8 square. 15 square is 225, has to be less than x square plus 64, or x square is less than 225 minus 64 is 161. Now I know 13 square is 169, so x has to be less than 13. 12 square is 144, so we'll satisfy. Now let's use the other part. 15 has to be less than x plus 8, which means x has to be more than 7. So x lower bound is more than 7, upper bound is more than is less than 13, right? X has to be an integer. Integers satisfying this: 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. That is 5 values. Now this is assuming x is the 15 is the longest side. What happens if x is the longest side? Again, applying the same relation. X square has to be more than 15 square plus 8 square. 15 square is 225, 8 square is 64, so 289. So x square has to be more than 289. 289 is 17 square, which means x has to be more than 17. But to cap it off, the triangle inequality, x has to be less than 15 plus 8, which is 23. So x has to be more than 17, less than 23, integer. So x has to be 18, 19, 20, 21 or 22. 5 values here, 5 values here, overall 10 values to solve. Right? It's a wonderful question, and this is the reason why you study this obtuse angle extension to the Pythagoras theorem. That most of the reason why that is in your text is because of this question. So blame this. As we see, most of the questions on triangles, geometry, etc. are concerning the very basic principles of triangles. You just need to know how to use the Pythagoras theorem. If required, use the Hero's formula, etc. But geometry does not need to be very difficult. You just need to keep your calm, be a little patient. Don't try to memorize a lot of formulas. Use basic relations. Questions will solve themselves. That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.